Lightweight champion Robert Easter Jr., who has an upcoming fight, breaks down Adrien Broner. Ah, man, you know AB versus Mikey Garcia. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you're new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button for the latest and greatest. Hit the bell icon if you want the notifications. Notification squad. Now, I just got somebody sent me an interview with Robert Easter Jr. He was talking about his division, lightweight, unification. Obviously, he has the upcoming fight, hometown fight, Huntington Center in his hometown of Toledo, Ohio. And the interview was with the Cornerman Radio. And they put the audio with the picture on YouTube. Link is in the description. It's a short listen, but link is in the description in case you want to listen to it. I'm not going to go verbatim, quote for quote, what he said. I'm kind of going to sum up and paraphrase. But again, check out that link from the Cornerman Radio, link in the description. And it was a good interview for starters. At first the conversation, the part one of this conversation was surrounding Robert Easter and Mikey Garcia. And he was saying that that's a fight he would love. He says, Jorge Linares, Mikey Garcia, Flanagan, they're all champions. And those are big money fights. Those are fights where obviously the implications will be big, and if he gets those fights in, the respect level grows, and so does the money, because those are big names and those are the fights he wants. And between him and the host, they were kind of talking about, I guess Mikey Garcia was on the show, on the guy's show, and he interviewed him. He says, I'm not gonna tell you what he said verbatim, but he was basically saying, it sounds like you have to build up your profile, you need a couple more fights and this and that before a fight with me and Mikey Garcia and Easter Jr. is major. So Easter Jr. like he started laughing like, that's funny, and he's like, I guess a lot of people look at me as I'm like one of the new champions and the least amount of experience, so they're saying that, you know what I mean, I got to build up more to the fight. But he said the thing is, the way I look at it is, if I'm so inexperienced and new and I have a belt and you said you wanted unification, then I should be easy, right? So why not fight me? Which is a solid point. Like, we see this in boxing, like people say they want to unify and become undisputed, things of that sort, but there's a champion in your division, no matter if they're super proven or not, they have a legitimate belt, the IBF belt. This is not an interim IBF belt. This is not like one of those phony belt, you know what I mean, like a commemorative belt or something. This is the belt Robert Easter Jr. has is the actual IBF belt, and the only in the division that I know of, unless there's maybe like an overseas version or something. But that's a solid point. Then the conversation switched later to his buddy, man, you know, AB, about Barclays possibly fighting and getting the fight with Mikey Garcia. And he was like, wow. He's like, is that true? Is that like a real rumor? Is that a thing? He said, because I talked to Broner and he's in Miami and he's dealing with his stuff. I'm training for my fight, so we didn't get to touch bases. And you know what I mean? He might be covering for Broner because he's not going to leak Broner's news when they're still in negotiations and stuff. So according to him, what he's saying though is that he talked to Broner, and Broner says he got something big in the works down the pipeline, and the fight is not announced or whatnot, but he got something big coming in July, so he's going to get ready to get a crack in training camp. That's what Robert Easter was saying. And he said, but we didn't really get the particulars and discuss names. He just said he had something big and be prepared, or he's about to start getting ready. And he said, Robert Easter said, that's easy money for Broner. He said, especially because if that fight happened, it wouldn't be at 35. You know what I mean? Broner has had a couple times where he struggled to make 140, so obviously he's not coming down to 35. So for the money opportunity and the name, Mikey would have to move up to 140. So Easter's like, man, that'd be easy work for him, because you know what I mean, Broner's been a guy, he didn't say all this, but he's basically, it sounds like he's saying that Broner's fought bigger guys and demolished guys, and he says his power is the real deal. He says Broner has insane power. That's a direct quote. He says Broner has insane power, and his work ethic is hard to beat and rival. Plus, he would naturally be the bigger guy with experience at higher levels. And he says Broner's power is insane. I've seen him do stuff, just freakish stuff, like spar 20 rounds and then get off and then do the bag or rope for 40 minutes, right? So he says when, you know what I mean, sounds like when Broner's on, he's on, and his work ethic is on point. So he says he thinks that'll be kind of a mistake for Mikey Garcia. And he says, I'm not throwing shade. I take nothing away from Mikey Garcia. He's a great fighter. He has very good skills, but it's just different. There's different levels, and him and the co-host were kind of talking about Broner's speed and stuff. So again, check it out. Link in the description. I want to give my thoughts. My thoughts are simple. Like, for me, I thought about the fight. I think it's a good fight. Obviously, it's a blockbuster type fight because fans and casual fans alike will know the names. Mikey Garcia. You don't have to be a super diehard boxing fan to maybe know about Mikey Garcia. Definitely not Broner. Broner is a trash talker, and he's a big star. I just seen a picture of Broner with Nicki Minaj, so you know what I mean, Broner's name is definitely out there. But on top of that, the style matchup would be interesting, and I don't see Broner, whether you love him or hate him, he's not in boring fights. You can say whatever, but Antonio DeMarco, Gavin Reese, Adrian Granados, Chino Maidana, you know what I mean, Paulie Malignaggi, none of those fights were boring where you're like, man, change the channel, right? Sean Porter, that was probably the most boring, but there was a little bit of suspense in the 12th. And the reason I say that one is because Broner, he didn't really do much for the first 11 rounds, clinching and holding a lot, and he wasn't really getting off. I don't know. For me, that wasn't the most thrilling fight. But in general, Broner's not in boring fights. Same thing with Garcia. He has possibly the knockout of the year, or one of them, when he fought Denis Shafikov. I was there in the arena, and it just went loud, and then everyone was like, oh, and then it just got quiet. So crazy stuff. But it's a big fight for sure. This is the thing, and I implore boxing fans to really do this, is you got to be realistic with these fight predictions. A lot of people take these fighters' worst moments. Like, I understand looking at patterns and things like that, but the commentary that you guys leave in the comment section, it lets me know some of y'all don't know shit about boxing, because I haven't fully thought about this fight. All I know is I would love to see the fight. I want to see this particular fight, but I wanted to see Robert Easter versus Mikey Garcia too. I think that's a hell of a fight, but obviously the Broner would be a bigger fight just because Mikey would be moving up name-wise and stuff. There'd be a lot on the line. But if it goes off, which I'm not going to spend too much time because this is boxing, so there's a lot of fights that were supposed to happen or rumored to happen and didn't. So I haven't really thought of it too much, but just off of the first initial thought process, some people are acting like that's cake for Mikey Garcia, and I really rate Mikey Garcia. I've been a fan of Mikey Garcia. I like Mikey Garcia. I rate his skills, picked him to beat Denis Shafikov. I've interviewed Mikey Garcia on more than one occasion, right? But I'm also realistic in boxing, and you do have to factor in the speed advantage would go to Broner, the fact that size, he would probably be the bigger fighter, even though they make the same weight. Broner has more experience at the higher weight divisions. When he lets his hands go, he throws some and rips nasty combinations. So, you know what I mean, Garcia's defense would have to be tight. His timing would have to be on point. Broner, you know what I mean, Broner's a good fighter all around, right? But a lot of people aren't realistic because they look at, like, Broner, I'll be the first to admit, Broner doesn't always do the sensible thing. Like, you know what I mean, he's getting in trouble with the law. Sometimes he's drinking. He has, I don't know if he was drinking it, but he said something like, people wonder how I'd be up all night, and then there's a video and he has like lean, you know what I mean, syrup. So I don't know if he was drinking it or whatever, but he doesn't always make the right decisions. But you can't take away what we've seen from him. And to me, I don't see a Mikey Garcia fight being easy for Mikey Garcia, because you have to even look, Mikey Garcia, albeit he was coming off of a long layoff, he fought Elias Rojas, who was a career like 35 or 135 pounder, and Elias Rojas at 140 fought Mikey Garcia on the, I think it was the Leo Santa Cruz Carl Frampton undercard, and he was actually doing all right, winning some rounds at first, and then he got caught, got hurt, and he got knocked out. But that's just one fight at 140, and that wasn't even against a true 140 pounder. You know what I mean? Broner has fought as high as 147 and rehydrates to whatever. So I'm not gonna say, Robert Easter says it's easy work. I wouldn't say that, because Mikey Garcia might even open up as a favorite. However, I will say I think that Mikey would have to work for it. I don't think he's just going to go and run over Broner like that. But Broner, sometimes, I can understand people picking Mikey Garcia because Broner's performances have been inconsistent at times. You know what I mean? It's been a while since we got an Antonio DeMarco type performance out of Broner, right? But like I said, I'm realistic, so I don't see that being a runaway fight for Mikey Garcia. It's a fight he can win, for sure. He's methodical, he's technical, he has power. I believe his power would be apparent at 140. But like Robert Easter is saying, you got to incorporate other things like the size advantage. So very good interview. I want to know what you guys think. Is Broner's power insane? See, the other thing is Broner did seat Sean Porter down, catch weight or not. Sean Porter is gritty, and he's a dog. And Broner sat him down, and he was hurt from that. It wasn't just like a flash knockdown to me. Sean Porter was like looking around, looking all around, and he looked like kind of dazed and befuddled, and he was holding when he got up. So if he wasn't hurt, if it was a flash knockdown, why would you be holding? You know what I mean? So to me, it's a risky fight for both fighters, especially since Mikey Garcia, he's a champion at 35. You know what I mean? Moving up, you don't really have to do it, but money talks. It's an opportunity. So I think it'll be a good fight, but I encourage fans to really break these fights down, because fans fail to do that. They look at the fighter's worst moments or whatever and think everything's going to be an easy work fight. I said the same thing for Gennady Golovkin versus Daniel Jacobs. I was doing videos. I'm like, y'all, don't sleep on Danny Jacobs. I'm not saying he wins, but I will say that I didn't even do a fight prediction for that, but I told you it would not be easy. Win, lose, or draw, I don't see it being an easy fight for Golovkin. He has natural size, big frame, experience. Some people learn from their losses. Sergio Martinez, early loss to Margarito. You have to look at guys like Pacquiao, who took early losses, got better. Amir Khan took early losses and still went on to beat guys like Maidana and stuff. So, I mean, bottom line is people got to break the fights down. Just like Golovkin Jacobs, people said it was easy work for Golovkin. And then after the fight, they're like, surprise, oh, Jacobs did better than I thought. Yeah, better than you thought, because you didn't really break the fight down. You just went off what other people were saying. Oh, Dmitry Pirog knocked him out. Golovkin's way better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with Broner. I mean, sleep on Broner if you want. I don't know who I'll pick. But all I know is I don't think that's a runaway fight where Mikey Garcia, like a Dejan Zlaticanin, I don't think he's just going in there for 2-3 rounds, controlling Broner with the jab and then knocking him out brutally. He's going to have to work for it. Link in the description. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego Sunday. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.